Right, nearly 130 million Americans live along the coast. As Tevin was just telling us during the break, it's 40% of the U.S. population. Look, there are obvious perks, right? But in a changing climate, an increased risk of flooding, too.
Well, let's look at this. Meteorologist Tevin Wooten takes a look at how climate groups are warning people about these risks in hope of saving lives. It's a story that's all new this morning.
For every hour I drive, it takes an hour to back up the data.
Max Grader's on a mission.
And I'm rolling around here with 12, multiple terabyte hard drives.
Driving through and documenting at-risk coastal towns along the edge of America.
There's nothing really else like it out there.
The documentary film producer and his teammates at Climate Central are making the nearly 6-month cross-country trek to make FloodVision more than idea, but instead a reality.
Started in Blue Hill, Maine. We're driving all the way down the coast, all the way around Florida, and hoping to end up in Houston, Texas.
They've already gone through places like Bath and Rockland, Maine, capturing images along the coast to better help model the future of flooding caused by climate change.
The data we're collecting is going to be used to help local governments plan evacuation routes. It'll help them determine, if they get this funding, where do they want to put it? If this address is going to look like this and that address is going to look a little better, they know to put it over there.
With 4 cameras and LiDAR sensors mounted on top of a Ford Lightning, FloodVision is scanning the streets of Boston at a rate of 10 times per second. Grader says it's similar to the Google Street View car, but far more high-tech, and its focus is coastal communities at risk of flooding.
Think back to Katrina, right? A lot of people didn't leave, but maybe if they could type in their address and see that their car would be underwater, see that their house would be underwater, maybe they would have left.
Because of human-caused climate change, the intensity of heavy rainfall events and flooding is increasing to levels that are hard to fathom. Grader hopes these visualizations are enough to change the public's perception on how dangerous water can actually be.
And here in Massachusetts, there's about 1,500 miles of coastline and an increase in sea level rise by roughly 6 inches since the 1950s. That means more people, of course, more property at risk of flooding as the planet warms.
Boy, Tevin, this is not happy news.
No, it's most certainly not. But I think the point of the visual is to show how bad things can get before they get that bad, right?
I was going to say the visual is so important because I feel like we talk about this so much. We talk about climate change and global warming, and we talk about oceans rising. But to see an image of what my neighborhood might look like if and when it happens, that's disturbing.
It's important to remember those images are just model simulations and visualizations, nothing real just yet. But for the Boston images, those are likely to come back in the next week to week and a half or so. They looked at places like Faneuil Hall, TD Garden, some of the common areas where people frequent. We will likely be able to show you what it would look like under certain flooding circumstances.